ॐ यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै ब्रह्मदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनखेत्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां विद्यते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। सर्वतन्त्र स्वतन्त्राय सदात्माद्वैतवेदिने श्रीमते शङ्कराचार्य वेदान्त गुरवे नमः। योऽवतीर्ण इहाचार्य रूपेण यतीनामुदे श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे तं हरिं करुणानिधिम्। मननाख्यं प्रकरणं वासुदेव यतीश्वरैः रचितं विस्तरेणाद्य संग्रहेण प्रकाश्यते। बालानामुपकाराय मम विज्ञानसिद्धये तत्र श्रीबालगोपाल कृष्णसन्निहितो भवेत्। There are some people who have a wrong notion that those people who are surrounded with number of facilities and all conveniences, wealth and power are people who are most satisfied, most peaceful, and very, very happy people. So they will have all the samagri, the material for various sensual enjoyments at their disposal, and therefore these people must be very, very happy people, are happy people. And therefore, with this idea, now even this person who does not have so many resources, materials for their sensual enjoyment, wealth, etc., power, now strives for power, wealth, popularity, and all those materials of enjoyment. Surround themselves with objects of enjoyment, objects of appeasement, ego appeasement also. So that is how they think the person will be very, very happy. But they do not know that only the person who wears the shoe knows where it pinches. So even in the middle of all those uh, objects of enjoyment and appeasement, the person still may find himself dissatisfied, something of the other is always there to spoil the joy. There goes one story that there was one prince, and he goes about in the rural countryside riding on his horse and comes across a very beautiful peasant girl. And so he wants her to marry her. Now, this idea that this peasant, she's just a peasant girl and has this great fortune of becoming the queen of that country, kingdom. And so he takes her to the palace, keeps her there. But day by day, the girl goes on falling sick and becomes emaciated. All her joy, luster, beauty is as if evaporated. In 6 months, there is this transformation in that girl. So then he calls his guru and says, "What is wrong with my wife? She has servants, she has bed of roses, she doesn't have to work in sun, doesn't have to fill water from the well. He has every facility, and yet she, for the we cannot know what is the illness because of which she's falling sick all the time. And she, all that beauty, smile, luster, everything is gone, as if this is some different person that I have married." So the guru asked, "Let me see," and told him that all these things that you have given are only the things that are making her fall sick. So you think that all these facilities, objects, commodities, power, admiration is what makes a person very, very happy. Hmm. But that is only your imagination. It is only your delusion. And therefore, though commonly people assume this is all joy of life, having more cars and bigger houses and more money and more popularity and more political clout, all this is great happiness, is what people think. To that, the teacher writes, "Loke kechit sukhena vartante iti vyavaharo vritha moha eva." What people are looking at others and saying that he must be a very happy man. He has married the most beautiful woman. He must be the most happy man because he has all the wealth, the wealthiest person. He must be the most happy person because he is the emperor, the most powerful person. Huh? He must be the most happy person because, on the charts of popularity, he is sitting on the top. With all these ideas, here he says, "Kechit sukhena vartate." There is that person who is living with happiness. Is what? Iti vyavaharaha. This vyavahar of yours, this claim of yours is what? Britha moha eva, is only a futile delusion. Is only, it's just not delusion, but it is futile delusion because sometimes even delusion also is samvadi. You remember? There is samvadi brahma and there is samvadi brahma. And therefore, what is called as Samvadi Brahma, which becomes, though it is Brahma, but it is fruitful. Okay? It is fruitful. Sometimes the mother tells the child, if you don't do your homework, your father will come and beat you. That father is so afraid of his wife only. What will he beat? But then she creates that. It becomes fruitful. That fellow doesn't finishes, benefits. So that is called Visamvadi. Sorry, Samvadi. Hmm? Somebody has gone to Panchadashi, learn Panchadashi Dharma in Sringeri. You remember? Bhaskarji. So there Samvadi Brahma comes. But this Brahma, that somebody in society is happy because of all these things, is only Vrithamo, Visamvadi. Oh, it is a delusion. It is only a delusion. And how is that delusion? Vritha, meaning futile, fruitless. So now, having said that, he further says, Sukhaswarupasya Atmano Sharira Parikena. No, where is it? Mohena api duktasya sukhatva vyavaharaha katamiti katam iti chet. So there is a question. And question is, sir, even if there is delusion, how under a delusion can a person ever think that dukkham is sukham? Can you ever have the delusion that water is fire, or fire is water, or fire is cool? Totally opposite. So dukkham is opposite of sukham. And therefore, now the question is, how can a person, even under the influence of delusion, delusion means a person is not able to understand clearly, that clarity is not there, and therefore a person becomes delusional. So, under the influence of delusion, also can consider dukkham as sukham. How is it possible? Sukhaswarup mohenapi dukkhasya sukhatva vyavaharaha katamiti katham iti chet. If this is your question, भारवाहको बहुयोजन दूरम कार्यार्थम त्वरेण धावन तथापि तथा संततम अपि कृष्यादि कर्मकरणशीलः च च इति एव मादयः सर्वेपि स्वस्वकर्मणो दुःखरूपत्वेपि मोहेन तत्तत्कर्म सुखं मत्वा सन्तुष्टाः गानं कुर्वन्तः उत्साहवन्तश्च वर्तन्ते. Now, I will also give you an example before we go to the examples of the author that are provided. You understand what is the question? The question is, how under delusion, dukkham can be considered as sukham? Okay? Because you are calling somebody sukhi in the society, that this person is very popular, he has money, he has beautiful wife, he has children, and so he must be sukhi, happy. This is what you are thinking. How does that happen? Like, you must have experienced that you're carrying some heavy bag in your one hand, and then after walking for about a yard to 10 yards, then you shift that from one to another, from right hand to left hand. Oof, so much relief, don't you say? So much relief. What relief? You still are carrying? Where is the relief? You still are carrying the weight. Yet you have the delusion of relief. Like that, he says, now Bharavahako Bahuyojana Duram Karyartham Parena Dhavat. Now there is a kuli, Bharavahak, kuli, and he carries that luggage or big weight on his head. For long distance he has to run and he carries it. So also people who are working in the fields and all, rice fields, paddy fields, I don't know if you ever had that opportunity of seeing or working in the paddy field. Yeah. They have to do that, whether it is harvesting or sowing, and especially in the paddy fields and all, there is so much of water. Okay, and constantly you have to be bent, and when you get up, the backbone hurts, and because you are all the time in water, the skin between the toes starts tearing away. Because in villages when my childhood we had seen, it starts little decay and it starts tearing away. The membrane goes away from there. And yet those people are singing songs and working. So though, especially if you go to that Tamil Nadu part, those women in the olden days, Tamil, this thing, they used to wear the saris and their backs used to be open. So the whole day during that uh, paddy season, they will be bending and doing the work. Their backs used to be totally burnt. The skin will peel, and still they're singing songs and doing it. You see. And therefore, Krishadi Karmakaranashilascha iti eva madaya sarvepi swaswa karmano dukharupatvepi mohena tattat karmam sukham matva satpushtaha ganam kurvantaha utsahavantascha vartante. So those that whatever work that they are doing is actually kashta, is dukkha pradha. Yet these people are considering that as sukham and doing it or not. And that's why we don't have to give you how that happens. That example itself is good enough. Okay. Tasman mohena dukhameva sukhamiva bhati tishyatam. And therefore, now what is the conclusion? That it is under delusion that you will consider even dukkham as sukham. Tasman, but under what? Mohena, as if an intoxicated person. Now, some person who is intoxicated and he falls in a gutter and he rolls into that gutter. In Rishikesh, we have open gutters also. And pigs are also there in some areas, not everywhere. So, this fellow and that pig, both of them are lying there. Mm. And in his nasha, in that state of intoxication, he thinks, look here, I am in Swarga Sukham. And next to me is Kamadhenu sitting. Kamadhenu. Then what? So, tasman mohena dukkhameva sukhameva bhati iti jnatavyam. This is what one should understand. Then furthermore, तर्हि विवेकिनामपि शरीरपरिग्रहात् दुःखम् अस्ति वा इति चेत्, then now Dukkham is experienced by everyone, but some people call Dukkham only as Sukham. His question is, what about the Viveki? What do they consider as Sukham? Because, even if you are under Dukkham, you finally at least call that Dukkham only as Sukham and leave. Na? There are some people who say, don't wake us up from our dream. Because at least in dream we have Sukham. That is why I met somebody who said, you know, never ever go and test if somebody loves you. Say, suppose if that person doesn't love you and you come to know he doesn't love you, you still are disappointed. And if that person loves you and he finds out that you are testing him, you still have lost. That's why I don't go to test anyone. But my point over here is that somebody now who thinks that he loves me, that person does not love him at all, but he thinks he loves me. And under that delusion, he is happy. That this person is very happy under the delusion, thinking that he loves me. Should he keep that delusion or come out of it? You will say, come out of it, but he will say, at least this delusion is the source of my happiness. Why should I give it up? है ना? So this person doesn't want to wake up from that, come out of that bubble of his delusion. So now here the question is, there is a Viveki, there is Dukkham, but does the Viveki have this, see it as Dukkham or not? Huh? Does the Viveki see it as Dukkham or not? Huh? Because if that Viveki also becomes unhappy, what is the use of this Viveka? Your so our delusion is better than your Viveka. At least it is keeping us happy. What say, Bhaskar isn't it? At
Yes,
least
Guru.
our delusion is keeping us happy. Your Viveka is going to make me sad. So here he says, Tarhi Viveki Namapi Sharira Parigraha Dukkham Astiva. Because even the Viveki is also with Sharira Parigraha presently. And therefore, will he have Dukkham or not? Teshamapi Kshutpipasadina Shitoshanadina Vyadhina Sarpa Vrishchika Vyagradina Ch Dukkhamasti. This is a very, very realistic statement and take it. When it is said that the Atmajnani goes across all the shoka, etc., there is a lot to think behind it. And if you are not going to think about it, consider this as only Arthavada of Jnanam. And by the word shoka, if you are going to understand samsara, it's okay. Then over here he says, Teshamapi, even for a Viveki, because of hunger and thirst, heat and cold, or Vyagra, Sarpa, Vrishchika, or because of some disease, he is going to have dukkha. Why? Sharira parigraham. Tarhi, now in that case, if this is the case, we are also becoming dukkhi because of Sharira parigraha and consequently because of Vyadhi, or because of Shita Ushna, Kshut Pipasa, Vyaghra Sarpa Vrishchika ityadi, because of these, we also become Dukhi. Then in that case, what is the difference between a Viveki and we people who are delusional? What is the difference? Viveki also becomes Dukhi. We also become Dukhi. But there is only one relief, and that is at least we consider our Dukkham as Sukham. है ना? हाँ, तर्हि विवेक्य विवेकिनो को विशेषः इति चेत् what will be the vishesha? What will be the difference? Okay. तयोः बाह्यव्यापारेण विशेषाभावे आन्तरव्यापारेण विशेषो अस्ति. So now understand, vyavahara is also of two types. Bahya vyavahara and antar vyavahara. Bahya vyavahara means the external transactions, and antar vyavahara means the internal responses. Okay? The internal cognitive processes. बाह्य व्यवहार व्यापार बाह्य व्यापारेण शेषाभावे. So Jnani also, if there is hunger, he is going to take that Bhiksha Patram and go and say Narayana Hari. Sannyasis don't say Bhiksham Dehi. Okay? So he is also going to do some vyapara just like you. What will you do is, if you are hungry, is that you will start looking for a restaurant, and he will start going to some place for bhiksha. So bahya vyaparena, for the kshuddha shanti, in order to satiate that hunger, you are also going to do something. He is also going to do something. Vyapara is the same thing, and that both. What is the objective in both the cases? To satiate the hunger. Then where is the difference? What is the difference? So we are going to say bahya vyapare or vyaparena visheshabhave. Though externally there is no difference, antara vyaparena vishesho asti. So what is the understanding that the Viveki has, because of which the difference is there? So somebody is a Viveki not because of his bahya vyapar. Okay? Somebody is a Viveki because of his antara vyapar. Got that idea? Because, we heard this story from Maharaj Ji. During Udiya Babaji's time, Babaji, wherever Udiya Babaji Maharaj went, even in the middle of the night, what was there with Baba, we don't know. You know, thousands of people will start having food. Food will start getting cooked even in middle of the jungle. आ जाता था, and then constantly bhandaras are happening. That kadhai for making jalebi never could not come down from the chula. Constantly happening. So when the Pangat used to sit, Baba had the habit of going and serving the chapatis to people, and there were hundreds. So how Baba used to do is, Baba used to take that basket of chapatis and start giving to people. So somebody observed This is how a Viveki Baba gives chapatis. So in his ashram, he also started doing that same thing. The same way how Baba used to give chapati. Understand what? Bahya Vyapara is not what is making him Viveki. It is the Antara Vyapara which is where the mark of distinction lies. Okay? Uh, Yo Viveki Samahatma Sakalamaphi Dukkham Antakaranasya न आत्मनः सच्चिदानंद स्वरूपस्य आत्मनो अनृत जड़ दुःख स्वरूपान्तःकरण धर्मैः अणुमात्रमपि सम्बन्धो नास्ति इति श्रुति युक्ति अनुभवैः विचार्य ज्ञात्वा तिष्ठ. How is he centered? How is he settled inside himself? तुम्हारी भीतर की प्रतिष्ठा कहाँ? Where are you seated is important. And that seated means if I ask you a question, what is your foundation? Swamiji, what are you talking? Buildings have foundation. Now do I look like a building? No, you look like a block. Then uh, when I'm saying that what is your foundation means that what is it that your basic core of your knowledge or belief from where all your responses, emotions are rising out. What is your basic core is what the question is. So, what is that core of the jnani? Here, Viveki. So he says, Yo Viveki, Sa Mahatma. He who is a Viveki is indeed a great soul. Okay, Sa Mahatma. Sakalamapi Dukkham. Now, we are not denying that Dukkham is not there. As long as the body is going to be seen, till then Dukkham is going to be experienced. As long as you are going to have the body, you are going to feel the cold and the heat. As long as the body is there, till then you are going to feel the hunger and thirst. As long as the body is there, till then you are going to feel the suffering of an illness. All these things are going to. So that dukkham, is it in the body or is it in the mind? Pain may be there in the body, but dukkham is pain you can deal with by taking some painkiller or some appropriate treatment. But what about dukkham? Hmm? Yeah. So how is what happens to that? So here he understands sakalampi dukkham antakaranasya eva. Where is it seen? In the antakarana. But what is the aviveki saying? Where is the dukkham? In the self. And therefore he says, aham dukhi. What does the aviveki say? I am dukhi. Are bhai. How can this I become dukhi? This I, nature of the self, is Sachidananda Vastu. There is no way that this self can become dukhi. But what is the experience and the claim of a aviveki person? Aham dukhi. What does the Viveki see? Where is the Dukkham? In the Aham or in the Antakaranam? So where does the Dukkham belong to? Does it belong to Aham? Dukkham is there, but where is it? It is there. How can it be here? This is what the Viveki sees very, very clearly. How is he able to see that? Because he has the pramanam, and that pramanam also has now vicharitam. And this is not something that you will have, you will gain an experience. This is your experience even now. All that you have to do is pay attention to your experience. All that you have to do is pay attention to your experience, and your experience is just this extravagance of position. That is all. So, dukkham antakaranasya na atmanaha सच्चिदानंद स्वरूपस्यात्मका अनृत जड़ दुख स्वरूप अंतःकरण धर्मैः अणुमात्रमपि संबंधो नास्ति. Now, what are the dharmas of antakaranam? Anritvatvam, Jadatvam, Dukkhatvam, etc. These are the dharmas, properties that belong to the Antakarana. And therefore, Anumatra api sambandho nasti. There is not even the self cannot be associated with Antakaranam even by an iota. Anumatramapi sambandho, there is not even an atomic relationship. Anumatra sambandhi asti. Iti, this is what he has understood, and this is his core of his being. Core of his being. And therefore, how has he come to it? Shruti, Yukti, Anubhavaihi, Vicharya. He has analyzed the Shruti. He has applied the inference to strengthen the conclusion of the Shruti. And finally, he is able to see that as his own experience. Anubhavaihi, Vicharya, then Jnatva. He has come to that conclusion. Tishtati. Now he is settled. So this is what is called as being settled. This is what is called as the very foundation, the very core of your being. And this is the core of whose being? Of the Viveki. Yo Viveki, sir, Mahatma, because he has understood the Mahatmyam of Atma. He has not reduced the Atma to Antakaranam. He is able to see this is what is the nature of the self, and therefore he is free. Tatha he. So how is it? So because Shruti, Yukti, and Anubhavaihi. How is this all the three working now for him? Tatha hi asango hi ayam purushaha. It is Shruti. There is the Shruti which says that this Purusha means not Stri Purush wala Purush. Purusha means Atma. Atma is called as Purusha. Purishayanat Purushaha. Purnatvadva Purushaha. The one who is available to you becomes available in the body. Okay? First. And that's why it is told that in the seat of the heart, etc. Okay? So what has happened here? Asango hiyayam purushaha. This Purusha is indeed asanga, without any, means what? Association. Asangaha. So this Shruti, he takes refuge at the feet of this Shruti. wherein the nature of the Purusha he comes to know as being what? Asangaha. Means not associated. Where would it be associated in order to have some, at least some dukkham with antakaranam, but not associated with anything. And therefore this Purusha is asanga. Iti Shrutihi. Then through yukti, niravayavatvāt, satyatvad, ityadika yuktayaha. What is the yukti now he gives? Niravayavatvāt, because this Atma is free from parts. Something that is consisting of parts, something which is constructed of parts, it is possible to have another object and its part associated with it. Correct? Only if you have a hand, somebody else can hold your hand. But if you do not have, how can he hold your hand? Isn't it? But this Atma, he may not hold a hand, he will hold your ear. When they say na, that when if you find somebody who is drowning, don't go and hold him by hand or hold him by, but that fellow will take you also and go down. So they say that go to such a person and catch his hair and pull him out. Don't allow him to hold you anywhere. But if somebody like me is going, what? And that fellow is doing, what? How then? Hey, all the question will be, Are, parachute oil. Eh? So, Niravayavatva, because of being partless, no association can take place. Another is Satyatva. Can that what is Satyam and that what is Mithya ever be associated? Mithya means something which is seen but is not there. Like you see the dream, and say, suppose you are seeing a dream of an ocean and Tunga waves, tall waves you see. And when you wake up, do you find your pillow and the whole blanket drenched? I saw there was all water everywhere. What water and all? Nothing. Why? Because that water is seen but is not there. Pillow is there, is Satyam. Can that what is Satyam and that what is Mithya ever get associated? So also is the case with Atma and Anatma. Body, mind, senses, antakarana, everything is Anatma Padartha and it is Mithya, whereas this Atma is Satyam. How can Satyam and Mithya ever get into a lock? How can there be any association? How can there be any Sangha? So therefore, this Asangatvam is proven through these yuktis. What is first yukti? Niravayavatvat. And the second yukti is Satyatvat. Ityadi. Satyatvad ityadika yuktaya. And then you have your own anubhava also to prove that you cannot be touched by dukkham. You cannot be touched by dukkham is your own anubhava, but you are not paying attention to it. If you are dukhi, if your nature is dukhi, then you are present even in the deep sleep. But where is the dukkham in deep sleep? So therefore, you are there, but dukkham is not there, which means you and dukkham are totally different. Correct? You are different. And therefore, sushupti, tushnim bhava, samadhishu anubhavaschaiti veditavyaha. This is what you discover in the samadhi. No association with dukkham. And therefore, the yogi, once who has experienced samadhi, wants to go back again and again into samadhi. Because coming out of the samadhi, he finds, "Arey, dukh mat bhago yahan se, chalo, wapis." But that is what a yogi says. Lights, electricity gone. Okay? Yogi say, but what does the Viveki say? Viveki is not saying that chalo chalo samadhi karte hai bar bar. For jnana nishtha he may do. But over here, in order to save himself from dukkha, he is not going to say. He says that I have now known, understood from one experience of samadhi sushupti that Atma is free from dukkha. This is my firm understanding. Ityesha manisha. This is my manisha. This is my firm understanding. Iti veditavyaha. This is what is the nishchaya of the viveki. But what is the nishchaya? What is the foundation on which the aviveki is standing? That we will see when we meet tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Padarayanam Sutrabhashakitau Vande Bhagavantau Punnamadaha Ishvaro गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो